To this day.
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 Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. Top of the morning to everybody, and I have some new news concerning Mauricio Sulaiman. Get this. Mauricio states that Teofimo Lopez is the undisputed lightweight champion, Sulaiman told AK and Barack. And whoever beats Teofimo is there. If there is someone who beats him, he must be called undisputed. I have spoken with Devin and his father. Now, those are the words of Mauricio Sulaiman. And let me show you some very contradicting stories when it did get back to Devin Haney and his father. Okay, Devin Haney on Mauricio Sulaiman saying Teofimo Lopez is undisputed despite him being WBC champion. This is what he said, quote, he says one thing to one interviewer, another thing to another interviewer. He said one thing to me and one thing to Teofimo. Why don't we just make the fight? Those are the words of Devin Haney. Now, at this point, you guys can see the confusion that the president of the WBC has spreaded. Okay, we know Teofimo Lopez was defeated by George Kambosos. We know that. But as he said, right, that whoever beats Teofimo is regarded as undisputed. Okay, now the problem is, why don't he just get them both together and tell them what is what, or make them fight for who is undisputed once and for all? Like Devin Haney suggested, right? So, but instead he insists on telling one person one thing and another person another thing. Yeah, you're a champ over here, Devin Haney. No, you're a champ over here, Teofimo. Basically what he's doing, he's telling these fighters what he wants to hear. And it doesn't stop after this, because George Kambosos now feels in the place of Teofimo because he beat Teofimo, okay? And nothing will really change until these guys fight. And like I've been telling you guys time and time again, Mauricio Sulaiman is only out for the money. That's why he keeps lying to people. That's why he keeps contradicting himself, because he wants two different sanctioning fees from two different fighters. See, Teofimo Lopez was the franchise champion. He got it from Vasyl Lomachenko. Well, Vasyl Lomachenko was that current franchise champion, and then he would then therefore, or whoever, would have to pay sanctioning fees. Floyd Mayweather cracked this wide open when he talked about these belts, okay? And Devin Haney became that because he wanted to create another leg of revenue for himself, okay? Because if that was the case, if the WBC franchise, if that wasn't even looked at as with other sanctioning bodies, Mauricio knew whoever held that franchise champion could hold that up like a torch, but that torch would be very expensive. Okay, that's all the franchise championship is, an expensive torch to wave around and claim that, hey, I got this, I'm the franchise champion. But really, the only franchise that you're supporting is Mauricio Sulaiman's pockets. Okay, now with the WBC, he created that because he wanted another leg of revenue. Why would you just have one champion when you can have two? Why would you only have one check when you can have both checks from two different fighters? See, let me tell you something, people. To hear Mauricio talk is to constantly see and hear someone contradict himself, lie over and over and over again. Okay, you can't excuse this type of stuff. And this is the WBC president. Okay, that's what makes it so bad. He's not a person that speaks for the president or someone that can twist the president's words. This is Mauricio Sulaiman at work. And when I mean at work, what he's doing, he's making sure that his pockets are being laid and he doesn't give a shit who's the real champion or not, and he won't make them fight. Why? Because that means he will be cutting off some revenue, a check for himself. Okay, let's say Devin Haney fights Kambosos. Okay, well, that means whoever fights wins. So that means that there's only one, because what happens is if Devin Haney beats Kambosos, well, then the WBC belt that he had would be he would be relinquished. Okay, he would have to relinquish that belt, and then he would take the franchise championship belt, or vice versa. Okay, but then somebody would still have to fight for it, because that's what Mauricio wanted to orchestrate, and he orchestrated it quite well. You want someone that can make new streams of revenue. Think about the Bridgerweight championship division. Think about that. The Bridgerweight division is nothing but a smaller heavyweight. And I'll be damned he didn't make a championship division out of that. Why? Because he needs more revenues coming from the sanctioning fees. Okay? Now, this is no disrespect to Devin Haney. This is no disrespect to Teofimo. This is no disrespect to Loma. But I think it's the fighters that's going to have to take heed and stand up and say, you know what? Fuck your belt. You are a liar. And I know why you're telling one person this and another person that. Okay, so at the end of the day, they are out of money, these fighters, to claim a belt that they claim to be what they call so-called champion. But the president won't even recognize who is who at the perfect time. He says one thing to fit the narrative at the time in front of whoever he's in front of. That's what he does. And nobody wants to relinquish the championship because nobody wants to be the non-champion. That's the problem. That's the whole problem. But people, can't you see that the WBC is getting less and less legitimate due to corruption in the sport of boxing? That's what people should see about Mauricio. If he did something right, like look what he's doing to Dillian White. He's making him wait because Dillian White's putting his ass to the fire due to foolishness. Okay? Devin Haney, Teofimo, those guys should have been fought if he cared about that, but why would he miss his money? Okay, the WBC, look what he did. Look, it's numerous things that Mauricio's done. Okay, he created a whole division out of nowhere, like Thanos, right? Just to make sure, hey, I get another leg of revenue because I need something to do for whatever reason. He wants to make more money. But anyway, that's my counterpunch on Mauricio Sulaiman stating that whoever holds the franchise champion is undisputed. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.